Welcome to Jimmy's Land again. Ralph Waldo Emerson used to say, no one can bring you peace but yourself. No one can bring you peace but yourself. I remember there's a story about one carpenter. The story is called The Trouble Tree. The Trouble Tree. It's a story about one man. He hired a carpenter to come over his home to restore his farmhouse. But that first day, it was not a lucky day for the carpenter. He was trying to do his work. However, his power saw was out of order. He couldn't really start it. And then he couldn't really do anything that day. So he tried to drive his pickup truck and go home. However, when he was about to start his pickup truck, and his truck didn't even just work. He was even more upset. So he asked the man, sir, could you just give me a ride home? Okay, I couldn't really do anything today anyway. And the man said, well, of course, no problem. I can actually just give you a ride home. I will take you there. So, the man just drove the carpenter home. On their way to his home, the carpenter was really just upset. He didn't talk. He had this kind of long face. He was kind of definitely very angry about himself, about all this kind of very just bad day. And then, after they arrived at the carpenter's home, the carpenter was very kind and he asked for the man to come over to his home and maybe have some coffee. And the man said, well, no problem. So, maybe I can just go in. So they walk to the small house the carpenter owned. When they were walking, before they entered the house, and actually the carpenter did one thing that impressed the man very much. Before he entered the house, he used both of his hands and he touched one of the branches of the tree in front of the house. And then he put his hands down. And at that very moment, the carpenter was totally different. He went through a transformation. So before he came here, he was very upset. He had a long face. But after he touched the tree, he became very happy. And he opened the door, he entered his house. And he was so warm, he was so happy when he just hugged his wife and hugged his children. And the man just looked at this. And he was so confused. How come? There was such a difference. And then the man just, had coffee and had some chat with the carpenter and his wife. So after a while, the man said, well, I have to go. So the carpenter said, okay, let me walk you to your car. And the man said, well, yes, of course. So when they were just walking toward the man's car, the man said, well, you see, actually, I really want to ask you one question. I just noticed before you went home, actually you touched the branches of the tree, right? And then when you went in, you were totally different. What happened? And the carpenter said, wow, that's my trouble tree. I know whenever I work outside, I would encounter a lot of difficulties. I would encounter a lot of challenges. Like today, my power saw didn't work. My pickup truck didn't start. I lost the whole day without making any money. I was so disappointed. But I also know my trouble does not belong to my family. That's why whenever I go home, before I enter my home, I will touch the tree branches. And then actually I will leave all my trouble outside. I will never bring my trouble back in my home because they don't deserve it. And I was thinking, so anyway, I put it outside and tomorrow morning when I go out, I can take it back and go to work. But you know something? The next morning, whenever I want to go out and work, I try to just get the trouble back again, and I suddenly found most of the time the trouble was gone. So remember, no one can bring you peace but yourself. A lot of time we remember there is a formula given by Jack Canfield, one of the writers of Chicken Soup of the Soul, Jack Canfield. He wrote the formula: E plus R equals O. 3 letters, E-R-O. E means events, something that happened to you. Can you control them? No, you can never control them because you never know what is going to happen. R, what does it mean? It means your response. Can you control it? Yes. You can respond very happily. You can also respond very sadly. You can respond positively. You can also respond negatively. Equals O. O means the outcome. So whenever something happens, you can never change. However, if you respond positively, the outcome will be positive. When you respond negatively, the result, the outcome will be negative. So my friends, can you control your response? Can you bring yourself this kind of peace? Can you get out of your trouble? More importantly, get your family out of your own trouble. This is the end of the story. I hope that you enjoyed the story. And I also hope that you can tell the story to your roommate, friends, family. Tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, or maybe 3 days after tomorrow, or 7 days. And this story is going to be yours. But the trouble is going to leave you. So my friend, remember, find your trouble tree. Hang your trouble outside. Don't bring your trouble to those people you love, to those people who love you. Thank you.